Welcome to Nagaland TV. I am Yashira and you're watching Nltv Midday News. First headlines. Naga peace talks are going on in New Delhi. NSCM-IM General Secretary T.H. Moiva holds talks with interlocutor A.K. Mishra. The first round of talks was held yesterday. In the first meeting, talks for separate flag and constitution were being discussed. CM Rio and Assam CM also expected to be in New Delhi for further talks. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu was on one-day visit to Nagaland. He stressed on maintaining peace, says this would mean acceleration of development in Nagaland, claimed that peace was essential for progress. Nobel Prize in Literature awarded to Abdul Razak Gurna. He was awarded for his uncompromising and compassionate penetration of the effect of colonialism and the fate of refugee in the gulf between cultures and continents. Centre on Thursday announced it will begin issuing visas from 15 October, although tourists will be allowed to entry into India only in chartered flights for a month. Foreign tourists entering India by flight other than chartered aircraft would be able to do so only from 15 November on fresh tourist visas. Delhi Capitals Chennai Super Kings Royal Challengers Bangalore in IPL playoff. KKR are all but certain to finish as the fourth and move to the playoffs. Mumbai Indians have near impossible task. Will meet Sunrisers Hyderabad. Delhi Capitals to face RCB to end the league today. Now the news in details. After almost a year, talks between the Government of India and NSCM-IM and Naga national political groups will be held today in New Delhi. A delegation of NSCM-IM, which included Chief Negotiator T.H. Moiva, Chairman Q. Tuku and Vice Chairman Tongmeth Wangnao have arrived in New Delhi. Chief Minister Nephew Rio also to arrive in New Delhi today. It is worth mentioning here that Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma will also be joining the dignitaries for the meeting as he will arrive in Delhi later. Team from Working Committee of NNPGs led by N. Kitohi Jimomi, NSCN K. Niki led by its President Niki Sumi are already present in New Delhi. Niki Sumi, as reported, has already met with A.K. Mishra. Niki Sumi and NIO Starson Lamkang Naga met the interlocutor for Naga peace talks. Releasing the press statement, NSCN-IM GPRN said that they have conveyed the message to interlocutor that they are committed to the peace and Naga peace talks. NSCN-IM has been demanding a separate flag and constitution which the Government of India had rejected. More updates on the same will be received once the meeting is concluded. After almost a year, talks between the Government of India and NSCN-IM and Naga national political groups will be held today in New Delhi. A delegation of NSCN-IM, which included Chief Negotiator T.H. Moiva, Chairman Q. Tuku and Vice Chairman Tongmeth Wangnao have arrived in New Delhi. Chief Minister Nephew Rio also to arrive in New Delhi today. It is worth mentioning here that Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma will also be joining the dignitaries for the meeting as he will arrive in Delhi later. Team from the Working Committee of NNPGs led by N. Kitovi Jimomi, NSCN K. Niki led by its President Niki Sumi are already present in New Delhi. Niki Sumi, as reported, has already met with A.K. Mishra. Niki Sumi and INO Starson Lamkang Naga met the interlocutor for Naga peace talks. Releasing the press release statement, NSCN GPRN said that they have conveyed the message to interlocutor that they are committed to the peace and Naga peace talks. NSCN-IM has been demanding a separate flag and constitution which the Government of India had rejected. More updates on the same will be received once the meeting is concluded. Twinsang District Planning and Development Board meeting was held at DC's Conference Hall, Twinsang on Thursday. The meeting was chaired by DC and Vice Chairman DPDB Twinsang, Kumar Ramnikant. According to reports, the meeting was held for the forthcoming by-election. Shamtor Chesori, the Deputy Commissioner, advised all the HODs to take a keen interest in the directive duties and also asked them to guide the respective staffs to be ready on call of duty. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu was on a one-day visit to Nagaland. During his visit, he spoke at the virtual launch of ITNC Directorate Building and Ministers Residential Complex at Kohima and government high school buildings at different places across the state from Rodongdengdrong Hall, Police Complex Chumukedima. He stressed on the fact that maintaining peace would mean acceleration of development in Nagaland. He also claimed that peace was essential for progress and urged everyone to work together in this regard. Naidu further went on to say that no one should challenge the might of Government of India while claiming that the government was committed to the safety and security of the citizens. He said issues like interstate border disputes could always be discussed to resolve them. He acknowledged Chief Minister Nefurio and his cabinet colleagues for their initiative to resolving the Naga political issue and expressed satisfaction at the progress of peace talks. Top Chinese and US diplomats held talks to enhancing mutual understanding in Zurich on Thursday. According to the reports, the two sides agreed to take action following the spirit of the phone call between Chinese and US heads of the state to strengthen strategic communication and properly manage differences. The two countries agreed to avoid confrontation and conflict, seek mutual benefit and win-win results, and work together to bring China and US relations back on the right track of sound and steady development. On the last day of Indian Premier League stage of the ongoing season, the Board of Control for Cricket in India has agreed to a request from official broadcasters Star India. Instead of one afternoon match and one evening match, two matches will be held at the same time in the evening at two venues. SRH versus MI and RCB versus DC will be played simultaneously at 7:30 p.m. BCCI will take feedback from Star after the two games about the TRP generated. As the board is planning to have two new IPL teams next year, this could help it to conduct more games in fewer days. BCCI will decide to such norms can be continued ahead in the future. Indian and Chinese troops recently engaged in face-off for a few hours along the line of actual control in Arunachal Pradesh's sector. However, the face-off was resolved after the talks between the local commanders. The face-off between Indian and Chinese troops occurred in last week after a few Chinese troops crossed the border in Arunachal Pradesh's Tawang and were detained by Indian soldiers briefly. According to reports, there was no damage to Indian defences. A fire broke out at a clothing godown located in the Harkesh Nagar of New Delhi on Friday morning. The department said a call was received about the fire around 4 a.m. and about 18 fire tenders rushed to the spot. According to reports, the fire department is still trying to control the fire. Furthermore, no casualties have been reported so far. The cause of the fire is being ascertained. Further details awaited. Massive tremors felt across northeastern states of India on Friday night at 11:58 p.m. as 5.5 magnitude earthquake jolted Myanmar and surrounding areas. The epicenter of the quake was located at 144 kilometers west-northwest of Burma. No casualties or loss of property have been reported. Furthermore, several earthquakes have been reported across the globe on Friday. Nobel Prize in Literature was awarded to Abdul Razak Gurna on Thursday. He was awarded for his uncompromising and compassionate penetration of the effects of colonialism and the fate of refugee in the gulf between cultures and continents. He is the first African to win the most prestigious award in the world, literature. Gurna was born in Zanzibar, but he currently lives in Britain. He left Zanzibar at the age of 18 as a refugee after a violent 1960 uprising in which soldiers overthrew the country's government. Some of Gurna's novels include Paradise, Memory of Departure, Admiring Silence, Doughty, Pilgrim's Way, etc. The centre on Thursday announced it will begin issuing visas from 15 October. Although tourists will be allowed entry into India only in chartered flights for a month. India suspended tourist visas in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic last year. According to reports, foreign tourists entering India by flight other than chartered aircraft would be able to do so only from 15 November on fresh tourist visas, all due to COVID protocols and norms related as notified by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare to be adhered by foreign tourists. Tourism Secretary Arvind Singh said, "We are planning for a phase-wise reopening of tourist visas for various countries, but it all depends on how things pan for the first month." A strong earthquake with a magnitude of 6.1 jolted Tokyo and surrounding areas late on Thursday, stopping train lines and causing sporadic power cuts, but there were no reports of major damage. The tremor at 10:41 p.m. registered strong 5 on Japan's intensity scale, a level that could cause damage to buildings and power cuts. The Japan Meteorological Agency said the quake had an epicenter in Chiba Prefecture to the east of capital Tokyo. There was no danger of a tsunami from the quake. NHK said the government set up an emergency response task force. India reports 21,257 fresh COVID-19 cases with 318 deaths in the last 24 hours. India's recovery rate now stands at 97.96%. A total of 24,963 patients recovered in the last 24 hours, which brings the total recoveries to 3,32,25,221 cases across the country, with 2,40,221 active cases. Meanwhile, Nagaland's total tally stands at 31,421 with 29,432 recoveries. Varun Gandhi and his mother Menaka Gandhi names have been dropped from the fresh list of 80-member BJP National Executive after he condemned the event in UP's Lakhimpur Kheri. The party brushed off the action, calling in a routine exercise. Varun Gandhi is the only BJP leader to flag off the issue of BJP Union Minister Ajay Mishra's son Ashish Mishra. Varun Gandhi on Tuesday tweeted a video of a black SUV running through a group of peaceful protesters from behind. On Wednesday, Varun Gandhi tweeted accountability for the innocent blood of farmers, saying that justice must be delivered. Both Ajay Mishra and his son have denied presence at the spot but admits that the SUV belongs to his family. That is all for now. Keep watching Nagaland TV for more news and updates.